I know you think your piano roll is good enough, but I want to show you software that does things that you can't even imagine in your piano roll. So this software is called Cymasphere. It's available as a standalone or as a plugin. I'll be using it as a standalone software just to show you that you can use it on any digital audio workstation. The very first feature I want to show you is the chord generation tool. So if I come to this palette right here, I have these tabs. Now it's very easy to use. All you have to do is drag and drop into this section right here and you create your chord. So let's come to the bottom right here. We choose our key F. And then I could choose the chord type. You could use triads, you could use sevens, nines. So, but I want to use triads just to keep it simple for most people. Okay. So now we can just simply drag and drop this right here. You can audition. I like that. Drag it there. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to drag and drop that. Then let's look for something. Let's drag and drop that as well. And then let's see how it's sounding like. Nice, I like that. So now you can set the tempo. Let's make the tempo a bit slow. Let's take it to maybe 100. And then I can also set my project tempo at 100. So as easy as that, I've generated a chord. Now the next feature is how you can assign multiple MIDI tracks into your software. So let's come to songs and then let's add a track. So let's name this pattern. I could name this melody 1. You could name it anything you want, but I'm going to be using the pattern. By the way, you can add voicing, sequencers, and grooves if you have like an MPC or a drum machine. And then for it to work in your DAW, just simply click these 3 dots right here, then come to voice channel matrix. We're going to have it running on a second MIDI insert so that it controls a different VST, okay? So we want this to be my chords. I can come right here, receive notes from, then come to channel 1. That would be my chords. Right click again, receive notes from channel 2. That would be my melody, okay? So I could rename this as well. I could name this melody and chord. And when I come to the piano roll, you can see I can click in notes just like any regular piano roll. Now I can play some nice melodies. And it's going to keep you within scale so that it prevents you from going off. So let's create a nice vibe in here. So let's change it from a half beat to a quarter. And let's play a melody. Nice. Now let's add a bass. I'm going to come back again to song, right click, add track. Let's add a bass. Again, I'm using pattern. You could rename this. And I can come back to FL Studio. Let's use Triton Extreme for the bass. So I'm going to be using this sound. And again, I'm just going to right click, receive MIDI notes from, come right here, channel 3. Then come to the plugin again. And come right here to voice channel matrix, simply click that and deselect it from 1. Okay, you want it to run through just the 3rd matrix. Okay, then click OK. So after this, just play on the roots key. And only stay from the top. Now you ask yourself, what's the difference between this and a regular piano roll? And this is where it gets interesting. So if I come to the palette, if I put a different chord in here, it's going to readjust the notes in the bass and the other melodies that I've played. So if I come back to song, this is the chord I'm currently using on my palette. Then I can drag a different chord. You can see how it matched the bass and all other melodies with this, right? So just simply dragging it. So you don't have to go back and change everything. And I can keep doing that even in the beginning. Let's hear how that sounds like. So this sounded a bit gloomy. So let's go back to our original happy chord. So click this right here. Then Then let's hear that now. Nice, that sounds really good. Now another cool feature in here is the chord voicing tool. So if I click on this right here and I click on voicing, I can literally change the key, I can change the scale, I can work on the inversions, even the octave in way it spreads the chords. So let's play with the voicing a little bit, okay? So I'm going to come to this chord, adjust this here, and then play with the inversion. I want a second inversion. We're going to keep the chord as is, okay, and keep the key. There's a lot you can do in here, but I'm just going to create a little bit of vibe out of it. And you can even adjust the velocity and the sustain. Let's increase the sustain a little bit. Also modify this chord as well. I want the chord to feel a bit more open, so let's come here. Let's extend it a little bit. Increase the octave and increase the inversion, maybe third inversion. So let's hear how it sounds now from the top. So now let's just assume for whatever reason, right, you don't like the key you're currently working on. I could simply just come right here, select the chord, change the key to E flat, and it's done. You see, it's a new key entirely. Let's hear it. All right, so let's route this into the mixer so that we can have them as stems and work on them. So I'm going to come right here, send this to number 1, send this to number 2. Or you can just link them typical way you link sounds in your DAW. And the benefit of this is that if you want to apply different effects at different volumes, you can easily do that on the mixer. So, but let's render it. So I'm going to come to my chord and I'll use Edison. Then I'll simply press play. Drag and drop to my playlist, cause that out. Then we'll do the same again. So right here we have the stems. Then we're going to add a drum track and then we'll listen, reduce the volume. So it's sounding really good. I know that this may feel different from your typical workflow, but the reason why this is so cool is that it gives you that flexibility in creating melodies. You don't have to keep going back and forth. You can keep using this even through the software as a MIDI send. So you can still keep using it that way. But I just felt like it was time for me to render it so I can, really mess around with it in the way I like. Because even when I make beats, sometimes I like to render my sounds and mess with it. So if you found this helpful and you want to get this software, click the link in the description and you get it. It's a really great software. I think it's really going to be helpful if you write songs, if you write melodies. It's going to be really useful. See you soon. Cheers.